What's up guys, welcome to the Sound Design channel. My name is La and today I'm going to show you how to make a nice warm bass for melodic house. So let's have a little listen to the project. Cool, so yeah, the track is all influenced by a song called Journal by Polar Inc., which somebody actually said in the comments, which good ears. Yeah, so I was trying to learn from his production, just the way that his ARP sound and his melodies and things like that, and kind of the simplicity of it where it's not overly crowded with all these different things going on. It's just concentrated on these nice sounds that work really well together. So what we're going to do today is just look at the bass, but I can follow up with some of the other stuff that I've got here, like the drones and the piano and things like that if you guys want to see. But today let's look at the bass. So I'll just drag over this MIDI and I'm opening up Diva, which is where the bass is taken from. Let's make this a bit bigger. Yeah, I apologize that I sound a little bit sick. I have a little bit of man flu. So yeah, but I'm all right. It's not corona or anything like that. So yeah, let's work from this preset, or in fact, we'll find the original preset which I worked from. It was actually from Bound to Divide's pack, and it was the dry pluck. I could have actually worked from a different sound, that's something that was a bit more sustained, but I really liked the tone of it initially. And it was just like these small changes to it that just made it sound nice and thick, but I just wanted to add some sustain to it. So this sound as it is very short and very low in octave. I'll just show you. Just turn it down as well, make sure we don't blow our ears off. Yeah, so it's really low there, right? It's too low in octave, and that's just because of where the MIDI is. So I'll just bring it up to here. And for me, that had like something to it, like a nice little body to it. But I didn't want the noise oscillator. I wanted a little bit more of a sub. So I just use a square wave here. And that's going to be like the low end. But we're mostly having this sawtooth here. And that's it. Just leave the rest here as it is. But we'll just change this actually to analog 2. They just make a little slight change to the waveform. And then what we're going to do is actually make this envelope a bit more of a sustained kind of sound. So we're going to bring the sustain up, bring the cutoff up so we can actually hear the envelope 1. Yeah. And then we're going to bring this envelope 2 is influencing the sound quite a lot. We actually do want to add a little bit of sustain here, around there, but bring this envelope down. Don't want it to be so buzzy and open, and then we just add a bit of release. There we go. And next thing we want to do is just bring a bit of key tracking up. You'll hear that kind of dulls the sound in the first note, because the first note is very low in the keyboard, and as it works up it's going to open up a little bit more, so the cutoff's going to open up a little bit more. There we go. Add a little bit of multi-core, and then we'll just add a bit of volume. Cool. I'm just making sure that I've got the envelopes right. I've got a screenshot here on to the right of me. But yeah, this is all exactly the same. Nothing different here. You can put this on Divine, which just makes the quality a bit better, but it's really a very small thing. Cool, so what we're going to do now is just copy over the processing, and then I'll talk through what I'm doing on here. So just copy it over, get rid of this stuff that I automatically have on my channel. So what I have first is an EQ, and what I'm doing with the EQ is kind of controlling the cutoff filter in a way. It's a similar thing to what I was doing this, opening it and closing it. But I'm doing it externally with an EQ8. So you can see here there's some automation just on this this frequency band here. And then what that's going to do is it's going to close the sound off where I want it to be closed off. So you can see here, and then I open it up more. So if we look on this original one, it opens up more, and then on the second part of this drop, so this is where more information comes in, I've opened the cutoff a little bit more, essentially. Nothing overly complicated there. And then we've got this preset called a bit warmer, which is just adding a little bit of warmth to the sound. Hopefully you can hear that. It's just a little bit, everything is very subtle here. We don't want to completely change the sound. And then we've got a utility here, and the utility is just cutting off that low side information where we've added a bit of reverb to the sound. You can see here there's some reverb on the sound, quite a bit, but it's just gonna make it so there's a little bit of bit of side information just above 120 hertz. So this here is going to have a bit of reverb on, but everything below it is going to be mono and down the middle. The last thing is just a sidechain compressor, which is very standard. Everybody knows how to do a sidechain compression. But if you don't, then what you need to do is just set up a compressor like this. Get a compressor here, because it's very important to get this on your bass. And you just click sidechain after clicking the arrow, find the kick, bring the ratio over, and then you just find a sweet spot with the threshold. Just turn this one off. If you do this, you get a bit of the EDM feel, and here is a bit more subtle. You want a pretty quick attack. You can bring the knee up so it's a bit more aggressive. Just go across a bit so you can see, and you can bring the look ahead up as well. That actually gets rid of a bit of the click, but not much. But I wouldn't worry about the click too much, because you're not going to hear it in context. If it's bothering you, you can just put an EQ at the end, and you can just cut off that. But you don't want to go too far, because you'll mess up the sound a little bit. But yeah, that's just going to stifle that click a little bit. So cool, let's have a listen in context with everything, see if it's working. Go from here. Oh, I dragged over the wrong thing. But yeah, you guys get the idea there. That's the sound, essentially. Nothing more has been added to it. I think the way that it really works well is that it's layering with this chord progression, or with a piano. And if you have a piano in there, piano usually has, well, depending on where you're playing the notes, but this piano has some low notes being played in here, which means that there's some low information around 100 hertz and upwards, and that's layering nicely with that bass. It just adds a nice bit of warmth. And then with the piano, I'm just actually adding quite a bit of width, so that piano is sitting pretty far on the sides, and then the bass is a bit more down the middle, and all together they layer very nicely together. Cool. So that is it for the sound, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully next time I do a video, I'll be a little bit in better health. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and you like and comment and all that stuff, and support. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.